Paula, and I'm representing the Hydex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Hydex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hydex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch.
Ladies and officials, this is your 30-second warning.
A very good morning and welcome here to one of the most anticipated fixtures of the Touch World Cup 2024 as the home nation takes on the big guns, Australia. It's the Men's Open, our final group stage game. England have done enough to qualify for the next level. Of course, Australia have too. They've topped the group. James Preston and Joe Wright to bring you all the action. The Aussies will be running from left to right on your screen. Dylan Hennessy to get things underway here as they march forward. Early touch made and straight away an error for Australia. And listen to the crowd feed it to the Aussies.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it from an English perspective. I love the fact we've got an Aussie and an English in the commentary box. There'll definitely be no bias for either team here. I know this England side is very fired up for this one.
Now here for Pennycard. And wider still now for Trays. Trays dumping it back on the inside. Chung is still an option there as well. Now receives it. Trays picks it up on the last. All good footwork from Trays. Nearly opened up a bit of a gap, but the Aussies, very fleet-footed. Pete Norman had them both covered.
Yeah, and Louis Treyas and Marcus Chung are going to be the two players to really stress out this Australian line defence. Louis Treyas enjoying a lot of time, enjoying his touch in England. Marcus Chung, one of the most recent developers in English touch, has really added a lot of skills to his game.
Now Francis driving forward. Top try scorer in this division so far as Kane brings it down. Oh, great one-handed scoop. Kane's still an option there. And then just running out of a little bit of real estate there, the Aussies. They're going to claim there was a touch, and yes, they'll get the call here. So chance to set up an attack early on.
Yeah, really good transition from Australia. Getting the roll on the English defence.
Kane now drops it down. Slowed up here from Notley. Notley. Back for Kane. Notley again wrapping around. Here he comes once more. Takes off Notley and does burn them on the outside. That little change of pace just scorches the English defensive line. And after 1.5 minutes, Australia are on the board.
Yeah, Notley with a brilliant show and go around the outside. It was Louis Treyas trying to get around and make the touch. We'll see it on the replay. Notley receives it back from the early release rooster. And Treyas millimetres away, but that's all that matters.
I'm into this one, of course, Australia undefeated. Oh, England find a lovely pass and get a try. They hit right back. Joshua Henderson is on the board and the crowd is in raptures.
Yeah, and it's this dangerous part of James Simon, Will Upton and Josh Henderson. Josh Henderson with one of the biggest wingspans you'll see. Will Upton engaging Australian defenders, drops the ball off. Lovely line check from Josh Henderson, and he'll love that one.
Francis defending there in the link position. We've seen him predominantly on the wing throughout this tournament, but on occasion he has drifted a little further infield. That time bested though by Henderson as Bob bounces around here once more. The Aussies get this penalty for the English failing to step up.
Yeah, Will Saracold setting the line speed almost made it over-exaggerated that everyone else wasn't moving with him.
Hennessy slows it down, so real danger out here now between Bob and Hennessy as now draw and pass. Oh, it's far too simple in the end there. Hayden Moffat, lovely delay on the ball, and then Jamin Bob goes over the line.
And England just slow to get onto the defensive line, and Jamin Bob is the beneficiary from what is, as you called it, a very simple play. We'll see it here. It's another one of these rooster early releases, and the defensive spacing from England just a little bit too condensed.
A little bit of a different approach here from Phil Guymore to start this match. Both the Bob boys on at the same time. We don't see that too often. And Francis, of course, also drifting a little further infield. As now once more the English go on the attack. Oh, it's worked beautifully. There's a little bit of luck involved, but you've got to take it where you can get it. And Dom Brooke has his name in the books.
Yeah, and it's beautiful from Louis Treyas feeding the ball off. A very unselfish of him. We normally see him go mental in line attack. Not this time. Feeds the ball off. It's Pennicard. And as you say, a little bit of luck involved. And it was Marcus Chung. Accidental assist. And we're in for what is touted to be a classic on pitch one.
Hennessy looking to that left-hand side. They'll slow it up now. Oh, sending early. What a ball that is. And I think they've done enough to squeeze down the sideline as well. They'll even put the corner post back in place. They've got so much time.
And it's another classic score from Australia, orchestrated by guess who? Hennessy. Lovely delay on the ball. And I know so many teams that would just go and take that touch and embrace it in the middle. Not Australia. They find the space on the wing once more.
Malcolm Kenny getting on the board there. 3-2, and they're going tit for tat here. Worth pointing out, this is already the equal most amount of tries Australia have conceded in a game, and we're only 4.5 minutes into it.
Yeah, I know England have spoken a lot about really taking it to this Australian team, and Treyas on the ball will look to do just that.
Treyas back here to the middle for Chung. Treyas once more. Good footwork from Treyas. Drops it down very close to the line. They've got them here for numbers, the English, but Kenny, with large wingspan, somehow shuts it down. Another set to come, but a golden opportunity there denied.
Yeah, and once again, it's Treyas causing the Australian defence all sorts of problems. And with a fresh set of 6, you'll look for England to use all of them, stress out the Australian defence.
Treyas now dropping it down for Pennicard, and then back here, Pennicard once more. Treyas, oh, nice early release. Good footwork too from Chung. How looks to slow it down. They'd love to get a nice little strike dump working here, but the Aussies very close to going the distance there because Notley can motor.
Yeah, and we've seen the pace already from Notley. Great defensive read, getting up in the passing lanes, making the play for Australia. And look at the pace at which they transition. England are rolling.
Moffat now dropping it back, and still that English defensive line rolling backwards there. Really being forced at the moment as Russell, with great footwork, is staying alive momentarily. And we'll get another penalty. Just about every time they've come down this end of the field, they've been pinged.
Yeah, Marcus Chung on that occasion never hit the onside line, was called play through from the referee. Australia now, fresh set.
Once more, oh, big dummy comes out. Corey Russell. That's from the top shelf. Everybody staring off into the distance. It was like they were a deer stuck in headlights.
Yeah, and it's another beautiful score, this time by Corey Russell. Big show and go again. Marcus Chung in the midfield. I mean, it's not really a mistake, it's just excellence from Russell to get over. And we were going tit for tat, now it's tit, tit, tat, 2 for 1.
Very important here with this good field position that England come away with points. They crab out to this left-hand side of the field. Now drop down here from Lawton Davies, and they'll send it long. Oh, great cover. In the end, it'll hit the back there of James Courtney. Such was the speed.
Yeah, really good wing defence from Australia. And it was TLD trying to platform for Dom Tripp. We know he's got a pill. England's most accomplished touch player. And he'll be looking to really grab this game by the scruff of the neck and be that leadership figure for England, help them get through.
Good to see there as well. Jordan Marshall-King back into the action. He suffered a pretty significant injury, it looked like, on day number 3 against Lebanon. In fact, day number 4 it was. As now Notley comes out, will draw him past, ball goes to ground, but he has had quite a few injuries in his career. That was another shoulder concern for him.
Yeah, and touch is one of those where it really exposes the shoulder. And I know lots of friends who end up with dislocations as England cough it up on the line, and ominous signs early.
So 4-2 here. Already building as a crucial set for England. As Jardel Bob drops it down. Once more back to Jardel Bob. Oh, great footwork again. Jamin Bob. Oh, he just had to let it sing. It was 3-on-1, and anything other than what he picked would have been the right option.
It's almost like I said, no, that's too easy. We'll go through the middle.
Well, here are the Bob boys once more, working it. Hennessy out there too. This is a frightening combination of attacking players, and it produces the result we thought it would. Disgraceful footwork there from Jardel Bob. He's mown the lawn for them.
Oh, and it's just, I mean, how can you defend such feat? Jardel Bob making what is a very accomplished English side look like they're chasing shadows.
Oh.
Big show and go and over the line. It's beautiful.
It's the fact he can dummy with the step at the exact same time as well. You just don't know what he's going to do next. As now England bring it forward here. Lupton back to the middle once more for Simmons. Simmons, oh, having a little look at them. Geez, it opened up there for Lupton. Just had to put the foot down. Now they'll head back out to this right-hand side. Pennicard dropping it down. Last one here for England. Nowhere to go, though. And the Aussies now really getting into their gears and a very high defensive press.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Lupton on the ball more with Simons. This combination we've seen for Northwest in the regionals, and we see it for England all the time. It's just not quite clicking for them at the moment.
Norman brings it forward. Little pop pass here from Moffat, who picks up good metres yet again as Cridlin comes across to this left-hand side of the field. Great cycling on the footy here from the Aussies, and a quick roll ball too from Marshall King. Look at them just work their way downfield with relative ease. Dropped here from Kane. Oh, they should have hit Kane instead of Notley. They could have worked a 3-on-2, and now it might still come out here for Australia. They've pulled a rabbit out of the hat. It had broken down, but the speed of Notley changes course and goes bang.
Yeah, lovely left foot step, bit of disguise on it, and Notley just accelerates round the outside. And what was a very close affair early doors. Once again, we saw this with France yesterday. They come out firing, and it's like Australia go, oh, how dare you? We're just going to run away with it.
Same scoreline too. It was 4-2 at one point for France. England here faring a little bit better. That's a lovely passive ball back out to this left-hand side. And the issue was because Chung had gone so high in, he wasn't there in support back to the middle. Treyas now on the last, picking up Chung at short. He'll send it long instead, and again, easy pickings here for James Courtney.
Yeah, for me, Seracold was the option there, number 2 in the link position for England. But Louis Treyas will make that read, such as his touch IQ, although trapped in behind the ruck, and you can't do that against Australia.
Nice pressing defence here from England. That's a deserved turnover.
Yeah, England getting the reward. In first transitional set, we've not seen England just surrender the role.
Now, back out there comes Lawton Davies, looking to respond. Treyas out here for Lawton Davies now. Takes off towards this left-hand side, cycling back toward the middle. Oh, Treyas wasn't really ready for it. Drops it down now, and that's a real schmozzle there from England. Completely breaking down in terms of communication and also positioning.
Yeah, it seemed like just the structure. Players on different pages, expecting different platforms, nothing doing. And that's a bit of a killer for the English momentum. You force a turnover and then cough it back up.
Cridlin now taking the metres on offer, so too is Pete. Now metres here for England up towards halfway. That one's going to go against them though. Around about 8 minutes left in this first half. Once more a crucial period coming up. 6-2, you could fathom somewhat of a comeback, but 7, I think that's now getting into a real mountain of a degree of difficulty.
Yeah, definitely. And England have got to be able to defend this set, sort out your spacing, mark up the danger man. Here he is, Hennessy.
Hennessy drops it down. All the time in the world for the GOAT. Sends it out to this left-hand side. Norman once more. Quick release here for Hennessy. Back to Marshall King. Drops it inside the 7. And there's the turnover.
Yeah, and England do defend it out, not shying away from the greatest of all time, Dylan Hennessy. It was Lupton and Simons again working in the midfield. They've been a bright spark for England. They sub off, and here comes Tripp and Seracold.
Nice metres here from Dominic Tripp. Now Treyas driving forward, or Tripp picks it up and takes off, floating it long. It's a great ball. Kenny has work to do. The flick pass comes out for England, and they just make the touch in time. When it's that good, you just have to let it go through Australia.
Yeah, why are you being spoil sports, Australia? Just wave it off. So yeah, well done, good imagination. They don't, such is their integrity. They want to maintain the 4-try advantage and extend it. However, turnover ball in England over the past couple minutes are finding their feet.
Well, in many ways, it's a real good taste tester here for the Aussies. I know the English will be thereabouts come finals time, so good challenge being laid down here. New Zealand, of course, probably the big ones to watch out for, but England, Lebanon, both of them have troubled Australia at times. Still plenty of time to go in this one for England. Now comes out here for Treyas. Treyas just shy of the 7, or Chung switching back on an angle. Nice release from Treyas. Oh, and that one I think could go either way, and it will go against the English. Maybe a little bit too quick in the attempted play ball.
Yeah, it's unfortunate from England because they've done really well to engage both the Australian middle and link. Louis Treyas just dropping that ball down. It's unfortunate. Oh, look at the meters up the middle. You've got to stop that from an English perspective because Australia will eat it up all day.
Oh, Marshall King met with some heavy contact. You can see the strapping there on the right arm. That's off the back of that injury suffered against Lebanon. And I think they were looking to make sure they could test out the shoulder again here. Now Kane brings it forward, up to the 7, drops it down. Oh, I thought that was an awkward roll ball. They'll call play on here. I think they're lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, it was very close, wasn't it? Could have been an infringement, not given.
Kane showing it out to that right-hand side. Now releases for Hennessy. Easy as you like, pops it back on the inside. And Hennessy here, just in second gear, but still summing it up beautifully. And a good little touch made in the end. Getting across was Dom Tripp.
Yeah, and I thought Dom Tripp looked quite square in his post touch. And then kicks out to the outside, calls, stay out to the winger. They're going to need much more of that from a defensive perspective from Dom Tripp.
Here he is now with ball in hand, though. The big dummy comes in and Hennessy makes the touch. No one really on the field, though, here for England. Took an age to get all those reinforcements arriving, but now they've straightened things up. Draw and pass, floating out the back. Oh, well read here from Courtney, but England won't mind that too much at all.
No, that's a really good result from England. 5th touch scooping from just beyond halfway. Now with a fresh set of 6 on the line and the dangerous Will Upton and James Simons on the field.
Here's Pennycard. Little ball here for Lupton. Lupton out now. Simons back to Lupton. These two switching the emphasis, changing the angle. Oh, here comes Lupton right to the line and then popping a pass. Basketball style from his knees. Back to the 7 now for England. Henderson. Lupton rolling it down. Oh, I thought he might not have been square there. Probably got away with one. No, there's the late call.
Yeah, it was. Such as the defensive pressure from Australia, drawing uncharacteristic mistakes from Will Upton, usually so clinical in that attacking line. But Will Upton will always look to engage Australian defenders and play around the outside. It's a pattern of his play.
Russell working hard out of acting half as they keep driving forward here. Moffat also getting involved and now turned back on the inside. Here's good meters from Cridlin. Pete Norman picks it up now. Floats it out the back for Notley. Notley stopping on a run, looking to turn players back underneath. Oh, here we go again. The flick passes are all coming out. Oh, play on here for the Aussies. They get fingertips underneath.
Oh.
Pete Norman has been denied one of the great World Cup tries.
I don't think it was ball down either. I think he's picked it up off his bootlaces. We'll see it here. Can we?
Oh, no, I think it's a good call. It's simultaneous.
That's world-class refereeing. If I was on the field, I'd be waving that one off. I thought it just picked it up. But, I mean, that's the benefit, the doubt you get when you're in green and gold. You don't doubt their ability to grab those. And the flair and the force sub, I think, for a little bit of chat from the Aussies.
He's had a word there, Pete Norman. He thought he had fingertips underneath the blades of grass, but once the call's done, you've got to move on. So only momentarily down to Mayor, now back to the full complement. Treyers out to this left-hand side. Once more trying to isolate a couple of offside Aussie markers. He should have just kept running at him, though.
Yeah, I think it was Notley. Never hit the line. Treyers, just burn him.
Treyers now back to the middle. Chung. Treyers once more. Drops it down. 8 away. Oh, Chung, great footwork. Stepping off the left again here. Oh, and they just get it wrong. Once more, though, the opportunity is there to simply run yourself.
Yeah, I think Marcus Chung just second-guessed himself, didn't quite have the momentum off the back of the scoop to burn the Australian defence. And as we've seen, every single one of these Australian players has wheels. And it's going to take a bit of magic to unlock it. Penalty in the midfield.
So that's the difference there with Australia and England. Same situation, they run directly at the marker, get the penalty.
Yeah, it's the touch IQ. It's just the difference at the moment in the midfield battle.
Now Bob, bring it forward. Dropped underneath here from Moffat. Russell. Now for Hennessy. Oh, huge gaps opening up there momentarily for England. That's concerning. I'll have to fix that as it comes back here for Hennessy. Once more slowing it down. Last one now for the Aussies. Russell cuts out Hennessy. Sends it long here for Courtney. Nearly pivots on a little dime piece and keeps marching forward. But England do enough. Turn them away. And with only around about 90 seconds remaining, 6-2, not inconceivable.
No, definitely not inconceivable, especially the fact that Australia have struggled to get over that line as consistently as in the opening stage of this half, but England will need more magic and attack. TLD.
Oh, here's a little bit of magic as well, but Hennessy, as easy as you like, makes the touch, turns him away. Only around about a minute left here. England would love to hold out. Australia, if they could put one more on the board, they might just break the English spirit.
It was Tom Lawton-Davies trying to scoop through. As you called earlier, just ping the ears back and go. TLD's got wheels to burn, as do Australia.
Oh, Marshall King with great meters here. They'll pick it up on the last. Kane, great scoop, and now taking off. Back on the inside, Francis leaves the ball behind. And that's probably a try gone begging there for the Emus.
Definitely, Francis almost reeling that ball in, but a big shout out to Camille Shahabdeen, tracking the play really well, making the defensive read, and with mere seconds left on the clock, England will be buoyed by their defensive showing in the last 10 minutes.
Forward now here from Lawton Davies as head towards this subs box and once more get the reinforcements arriving onto the pitch, but you can just see the difference with that transitional set between the two sides. Very static for England, and then they have to correct on the fourth and fifth plays as it's batted over the top here. Whereas for Australia, it's probably a good 20-metre area between these two tens that they just keep bringing the players on.
Yeah, and we were talking about it in the game before. When you've not got that depth in your transition, the Sporting players almost have to come back around the ruck with no real depth to fly onto, and as you call it, that for me is the main difference.
So outside of the play style, the difference here at halftime is 4, Australia leading 6-2. Plenty of work to do in the second half here for the home team. But England, they know the blueprint. They have to take them on. They've had a few opportunities, just unable to capitalise, but Australia once more, all class. We'll take a break here at Nottingham. Scoreline at halftime, 6-2.
Raising officials, 2-minute warning. Players and officials, this is your 1-minute warning. Players and officials, this is your 30-second balloon. Please take to the field, ready to play.
Welcome back here to Nottingham. The penultimate day of the competition here, the 2024 Touch World Cup, and two of the heavyweights going head-to-head here. A great start for England, and we're challenging Australia, but they've lifted their levels here. The 9-time World Cup champions, and coming into this second half, they lead 6-2.
Yeah, they're really good value for it, but this is the danger pod for me. They look to make things happen, Simons and Lupton. Can they go and open the scoring for England?
Here is Will Lupton now, and back out of this right-hand side they come with James Weston. Lupton floating through the middle. A little bit of a dummy, drops it down quickly, all close to a heavy touch there from the Aussies. And I think that might have initially been touched in flight. Not called here, though. Definitely looked like the ball changed its course.
Yeah, and it seems like there's definitely been a couple occasions where England haven't had the rub of the green in terms of the referee calls. And again, for me, Australian middles really walking that offside line very closely. I'd like to see England just condition that, try and draw the call.
Well, that's the issue for England, that even when Australia have been a little bit too high and off the line, they don't take them on. So you're not giving the referee any opportunity to even call it.
Yeah, sometimes you've just got to ask the question. And even if you don't get the call, at least then the referees are going, okay, now I need to watch that. And you might get the call later down the line.
Now, Simons, Treyes back out there once more with ball in hand. Chung also arriving on the spot. Treyes bouncing off that left foot. Now straightens off the right. Last one here, Treyes, good footwork again. Oh, Chung finds a little ball back into the middle. And that's exactly what we were talking about, going at the offside player.
Yeah, and this is what Louis Treyes does so well, the footwork, the feet. We need to see more of it from an English perspective working with Chung.
Chung now, out for Treyes. Touch is made here from Luke Kane. Play on is the call. Just losing his footing there was Treyes. Now Chung sends it out to this right-hand side. Oh, look at the numbers here for Australia. 3 on 2 out wide, but they forgot about the man back in the middle. And coming through, Dominic Tripp now puts the English right back in contention, 6-3.
Yeah, England's most accomplished touch player opens the scoring for them in the second half, and it's Marcus Chung platforming Dom Tripp back to Chung. Great call, and yep, touch might have been made, but it is fractional, and on that occasion, England get the rub of the green.
They certainly did get the rub of the green there. Looked like Luke Kane did have a hand on the leg of Dom Tripp, but the English will certainly take it as Marshall King hops around here. Lovely loop. Beautiful sweeper play. Little wraparound from Marshall King to Hennessy, who summed it up beautifully, and then Bob once more over the line.
Yeah, John L. Bob thinks he's cold. Well, you are hot as anything out there, rolling through the English line. And again, for me, it's the way that Australia are able to engage the English defenders, Hennessy, and then just the lines cut off the ball. English players almost can't see them running through.
Now Weston and Lupton. Lupton ushering Weston back underneath. A little bit too slow here, though, from England, but play on for now. Trying to condition these Aussie middles as Lupton will slow things up. Brings it back here for Weston. A very concerted approach in this set here for England. Last one now. Lupton looks to take off, or pops a little pass there. For a moment, I thought they were going to play through there on James Corney, but he did get back and make the touch.
Yeah, it must have been fractional because it was very close. The referee saw him almost go with a hand signal early doors. And England asking questions, but need to find their defensive prowess as we saw in the first half.
Meters here for Pete Norman as Marshall King comes storming onto the footy and picks up a good 10 or 15. Now Moffat, much in the same fashion, brings it forward. Good footwork late as well. One-headed scoop here from Russell. Called offside there was Lupton. And then there's an extra set with the hand stretching out and making contact with the footy.
Yeah, once again, it's the transition from Australia. The pace at which they flood onto the field. The extra meters made in the midfield. Great little bits of footwork. And this is dangerous for the team in green and gold.
Now Moffat sends it here for Kane. Kane dropping it down. Russell at speed. Moffat turned away. Back to this 7 metre mark they'll go now. Russell. Moffat once more. Patience in the Aussie build-up. Moffat turns it back on the inside. Russell's there. Absolute clockwork from the Emus.
Oh, Corey Russell. Way to stay alive on the plate. Receiving the ball back on the inside. And we'll see it here on the replay. This is gorgeous. Moffat and Russell. Moffat takes off, engaging defenders. And lovely little dive underneath the covering English defence. And once again, it's almost the arrogance from the Aussies. They're like, oh, you've scored, well done, good job. We're going to go and put 2 against you.
Of course, if you're just joining us, that half-time margin 6-2. England scored first in the second half here to get themselves back in the contest, but the Aussies streak away once more as Jardel Bob sends it out to brother Jamin Bob here. Now down for Kenny. Bob once more here for Notley. Hennessy on deck again. Drop down here. The Bob boys combining now. Hennessy sums it up. Oh, well read, though. Out wide from Dominic Brooke.
Yeah, and he'll do that all day on the wing and will have to, because already Australia have punished that link wing hole. Ball could have gone to the wing there from Tripp. Doesn't quite happen. And look at the transition defence from Australia. Just the pressure. And England very static flooding onto the field.
Very high line as Bob makes the touch there. They've gone barely anywhere. The English are now on the last. They're in their own side of the field, and they'll be forced to come up with a real speculator to finish things. What a great defensive set from the Emus.
Yeah, what a clinic in transition defence from Australia, sending 2 players up together, always connected, and England can't get the ball in hand fast enough to play around them, just like Australia can on the converse.
Play number 1 here for the Aussies. Across that threshold and now midway through the count, just 15 away as Norman grabs across field. Cridlin back underneath. Marshall King, quick release here for Norman. Wrap around for Marshall King or Hennessy. That was a tough one to take. Somehow plays the ball. That might be the quickest play the ball you'll ever see. Marshall King over the top. Hennessy, smooth hands. Norman, wider still. Cridlin comes up with the try of the tournament. Everybody has to stand and applaud that one from the absolute top shelf from Australia.
Oh, it's genius. And look at this. Hennessy, great play of the ball, whips out, great footwork, leaves TLD on the floor, tap on as well. It's just beautiful. And then in the corner, and barring one extra pass, every single Australian player involved in, as you call it, try of the tournament.
And the relative ease that Marshall King took that bat on with, just standing still, the one-handed flick on. Ridiculous stuff from him.
It was so nonchalant. It was almost like, oh, no, I don't want the ball. Here you go. Little tap on, and Australia flexing the creative muscles.
Last one here now, Lupton, good footwork. Oh, nearly got away from them. But the Aussies, as we've just seen there, they're just a class above. And you've got to be, we've mentioned it every time we've seen them take to the field, you have to be perfect.
Yeah, you have to find your best touch and find it at the right time. And as much as Australia are running away with this game, both teams are already through to the knockout, so it's not going to make or break people's tournaments, but what a marker that's being laid down from Australia.
Here they go once more. Kane, Notley sending wide. Oh, well picked there in the end from Will Tyrrell, and had he taken that one, would have loved to have seen him stretch out and good old-fashioned foot race would have ensued.
Yeah, we would have loved it, and I think as Hennessy rolls into line attack, long ball, here we go. Good touch, but I think this game sums up how impressive Lebanon were a few days ago to run this team close.
And just 7 tries against Lebanon. There's now tough one here for Hennessy to reel in. That ball goes to ground. Breaking down the Aussie defence, that's probably still, we talk about the attacking prowess, but still think defensively, that's the big issue here for every other team.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just the way that Australia are able to number up. For me, the defensive spacing, they work together as a unit, and we were sort of talking about what policy is being used in defence. Well, you don't need a policy with the pace on display and the pre-touch profiles that Australia have.
To England now, with good field position here, approaching the final quarter of this match. Try here would give them just the slightest little sniff, and speaking of slight, well, there was definitely a slight little bobble there in that roll ball as well. They'll get away with that one, though, as Treyers comes forward. Oh, good footwork here from Treyers. Nearly squeezes through. Kane just got down in time. They come back to the 7. Treyers, little dummy. Now drop down here for Sarah Cole. Treyers all from a great distance, and what a touch there again from Luke Kane.
It's a clinic from Luke Kane at the moment on how to man up Louis Treyers.
Under the Central Coast region, Luke Kane. Now Treyers sends it back here for Chung. Pennicard cut out. Treyers drops it down once more. Pennicard wanted to give it there to Treyers, but he was standing in front of him. And then instead of just hopping back a touch or two. He kept pushing up into the line and there was no opportunity to release the pass.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's an awkward one for Tom Pennicard. As you say, looked to give the ball, but players crowding him. As Australia walk that touchline very finely, and here comes the transition.
Bob now bring it forward, back to Jardel. Bob now, Jamin scoops it up, one-handed stuff, beautiful work. Jardel drawing past Moffat on the spot. Good sliding defence there from Pennicard.
Yeah, much better from England on the transition defence. Are able to number up better, not roll as heavily. But this is where England have struggled to get out of their defensive shape. They need to get fresh legs on the field, and effectively that's better though, taking a couple touches up the box side.
Trey is now showing it wider still, and here for the run of Henderson. Nice quick roll ball from him. Getting a little bit of a roll on here in this set, the English, as now they come out wider still here for Chardine. Last one here for England. Forward they drive. Oh, quick little flick on. It was nearly a carbon copy of the Aussies.
Yeah, and it's good options, and for me that's a much better transition into the strike with Shahabdeen getting down. It was Henderson as well involved. Ball to the wing was on as well if it could have gone, but Australia don't give you the time to look. You've got to throw it on instinct.
Bob now drops it down, and another penalty coming here for the Aussies. All of this is about the speed that they're marching upfield with. England struggling to contend with it as Courtney brings it into opposition territory. Meters once more here for Pete Norman. Cridlin back for Norman. Slumming things down, out for Francis now. Francis taking off Kenny. A little bit of room to move. Francis firing here for Pete Norman. Cridlin back to Norman again. Slow build up once more, Australia, before they explode. Norman looking long, finding Kenny, popping a pass back on the inside. It popped up into the air for a while. Momentarily, thought Kenny might have been able to snatch it out of thin air once more.
Yeah, and that would have been some athleticism to be able to reel that one in. Maybe needed the telescopic arms to get it.
Here's Francis now, dropping it down. Norman, quick release here for Hennessy. Oh, great footwork back on the inside there for Pete Norman. Had he taken it, it was a 10th try for Australia.
Again with Hennessy, it's not just the way he passes, it's the feet. And there's no telegraph. It's just, oh, okay, I'm running straight. Bang! Now I'm changing the angle. And at the moment, Hennessy is just toying with the English defence.
The thing that sets Hennessy apart is no matter what he does, he seems to have oodles of time, which allows for so many options for him. And now the English have them backpedaling a little bit here, running directly at Pete Norman, who they didn't think got back on side, but get away with one there, the Emus.
And it's Treyas again asking questions, trying to drive aggressive, and we're going to need that aggression, especially with this Australian transition, although a little bit fractured for the first time in this game.
They need to put the foot down here, though, the English, and keep pressing up. Instead, off they go. Jake Notley, one of the quickest players in world touch, puts on a big left foot step, and once more, something out of nothing here. They just relaxed a little, the English, and you can't afford to do that against the 9-time world champions.
Yeah, well, you said put your foot down. I don't quite think you meant kick around the outside and just burn from halfway. But that's what happens from Notley. And once again, in the pace, it's just so easy, the footwork. And it does ask the question, what do you have to do to take it to this team?
We haven't seen Australia take on New Zealand as of yet. That'll be the real test for them. As to where it comes, they send it wide here, whether it be the semi-final or the final. We're not sure as of yet. We'll have to take a closer look at how all the draw plays out moving forward. But you'd have to say, to date, it's probably been Lebanon that have troubled Australia the most.
Definitely, and I think with Lebanon, it was the way that they were able to sort of take controlled aggression to the Australian line. I think it's fair to say in that first half, Australia looked a little bit rattled mentally, and England just need to maybe take a leaf out of the Lebanese book.
Well, they certainly laid the blueprint down. If you take it to the Aussies, they don't like it too much. Here they go now with Bob floating out. Oh, great pick up here from England. Now the chase is on. Oh, look at the speed here from Francis, reeling him in, but clicking into another gear. They found support out wide, and they'll just get there in time. Bob and Francis were storming down the field and nearly got there. There's still an opportunity there. They need to go quick, though, England, and they slow it down.
You just needed to go quick. Australia decided to sub in defence. England don't make the read, and now it's line attack, line defence, and Australia will back themselves.
Well, it would have been 4 on none had they just let the ball sing. There was no one there for Australia. As now Treyas, with a full line, is bouncing around looking for an opening. Can't find one, pops a little pass back on the middle, but will find it this time. Australia claiming the touch though. Referee disagrees. There's still a lot of complaints here from the Aussies. Francis is adamant, but that was well worked there from Treyas. Back on the inside, and once more it's Tom Tripp.
Yeah, Treyas, this is what he does. He takes it to the line, engages defenders, then plays around the outside. A little bit of chat afterwards. Starting to get a little bit feisty on pitch one. We see the replay. Treyas, open side, quickie, QB play, boom, and his ball down. Oh, it's marginal. England have been on the positive end of a couple. I mean, I don't want to say dodgy, but they're definitely 50-50 calls at the moment, but you need a bit of luck against the Emus.
Take off those English glasses, Joe Wright. Those are probably 60-40s, I'd have to say.
I don't know what you mean, James.
Luke Kane's last one was at best 50-50. That one, I think, was certainly veering in favour of the Aussies. So that's why there was such a protest about things, as now Tripp comes forward. But that shows to the mindset here of the Australians. Up 10-3 with time running out. The game probably in the bag. And every touch is just of vital importance to them. Tripp floats it over the top. Oh, lovely sinker pass. Just a little out in front there of the run of Lawton Davies.
Yeah, I wonder if it was someone like Will Upton with the extra foot in height on Tom Lawton Davies would have been able to reel that ball in. And the opportunities for England, they're good value for their 4 scores, but you're always up against it, especially when there's 10 on the other side of that scoreboard. Big contact in the midfield.
And Henderson giving Notley a bit of what's what. As now Kane shows it with one hand. Now bring it wide. Look at the English actually firing up quite a bit in this set. Another hard touch. Hennessy pops a pass here for Moffat. Moffat, the stutter step, or good footwork there to get around Sharp Dean, making them look silly momentarily. Now taking off his Marshall King, out of acting half though. He went a little bit quick to his own good.
Yeah, sort of run away from his support there. Oh, that's the defensive pressure though. England need to move this ball quicker. Josh Henderson getting the ball down. Little bit of afters there. And that should be a hard touch. Just throws him to the floor unnecessarily, especially when you had such a good midfield press on.
So England now with essentially a tap-off situation here, approaching the final 3 minutes of this match. The result now beyond doubt. It's just a case of by how much. It's dropped down here. Tripp, been outstanding for England. Lupton through the middle. Simons trying to set things up here. Oh, they've worked it nicely. Oh, Simons might go himself here, but had he passed a Tripp, it was a try for all money. Roll back now. Tripp once more here. Simons, Lupton. Nice little footwork there from Lupton. Once more they'll take off and work down a short side all the way through. Looking now for Tripp. What a put down from Tom Tripp. A great way to bring up the hat-trick. They thread the needle, and Marshall King off the back of it once more. Has an injury here to the shoulder.
And we'll see the score as Marshall King needs the treatment he deserves. James Simons, we know he's got wheels, great vision. What about the hands here from Tom Tripp? Just getting it down in the corner, and it's an awkward landing for Marshall King. Looks to be in a bit of discomfort. We do sincerely hope that he's okay. He's been an outstanding performer for Australia.
Well, same shoulder, almost the exact same situation too. Against Lebanon, it was a diving touch to deny a try. And now Australia respond immediately. Malcolm Kenny, in acres of space, takes it in and puts it down. And any hope of a comeback at all has now been diminished. Although, hold your horses. I think they'll call this one back here.
Yeah, I think they've given it forward. We'll see where the pass was delivered from. It's just in front of the line, and it's, I mean, that for me probably should have been given. Doesn't look all that flat. Looks backwards, if anything, but England look to go expansive. They don't want to sub. They know there's only seconds left on the clock.
Treyas now out of acting half, and forward here for Lawton Davies, and that might be a little way forward for them here as well, England. Not always going to the sub-box and simply driving upfield, because no one has really tried to do it yet against Australia.
Yeah, definitely. And we were saying the other day on commentary, you've got to give Australia something they've not seen before. So maybe being brave, backing your fitness, going coast to coast, doing away with a transition is a recipe for that. But a loss of control, and Australia have another crack.
Norman drops it down. Kane here on the last. Great footwork from Kane. Oh, again, the dancing feet. Looking like Fred Astaire out there as Norman takes off, squeezes through. And once more, Lawton Davies. The outstretched arms clip the heel of the boot. And with 30 seconds left, England should finish with ball in hand.
Yeah, and the young boy Lawton Davies having a great second half as they look to go around the outside. And it's good imagination. And they did find an overlap, and there was space on this wing. Just not quite connecting, but warning signs.
Well, that's the something different we're talking about. Straight away, looking for that opportunity out wide, not simply rucking up the field. Now Norman drops it down. Francis pops a little pass, wrapping around Moffat, plays it inside the 7. Now all straight into the hands of England, though. And final seconds of this one. There goes the siren. A very entertaining game and some positive signs there for the English. The fans are certainly appreciative of the performance of both teams here. That is the most that Australia have been pressed and the biggest score they've conceded throughout the tournament as well.
Yeah, and England, good value for the 5 scores. However, Australia once again a cut above the rest. It's the hands, the way that they are able to just engage defenders, whip around the outside. And we said in those last 10 minutes, England were trying things that Australia wouldn't be used to defending against. However, every single time Australia played, we said you have to be perfect, and the execution wasn't.
The big concern here for Australia on screen right there, the number 7, Jordan Marshall-King, still clutching at that shoulder. Hopefully he'll be all right for the rest of the competition, because now all the walking stage is done, so to speak. We're into the run now with the knockout stage, the next one here for both of these teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Marshall-King, it looks like a bit of a nasty one. It's never good when you see someone being so ginger with the shoulder, especially with touch. It's such a physically demanding game, so we hope he'll be okay.
So full time here at Nottingham between two of the powerhouses of world touch. Australia, the Emus, running out victorious over England, 10 tries to 5.
If you can put it into your co-managed groups or your team groups, great VW Polo, it is causing a blockage on Cripps Hall campus car park. The university has already made arrangements to have this basically towed. If you move it before the tow truck gets there, all good.
and I'm representing the Highdex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Highdex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hydex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided
change in competitions live here on pitch 1 at the Touch Rugby World Cup 2024. Action from the women's 27s competition. It's the final round of pool fixtures in this singular pool. The top side in this pool, Australia, take on the joint second place team in England. Both sides undefeated coming into this final game. The winner will play the 4th place team in the pool, which as it stands will be the winner of the game over on pitch 2. It's all to play for in the Women's Open as South Africa take on Singapore. Well, alongside me for this one again, Alice Summer, thanks for being with us here as Australia make an early break, and from downtown they'll open the scoring. Over goes Marley Phillips, and the hosts are behind. What a start to the game.
What a start indeed to the Oz team. Can't believe this score, and just paced down their own sideline, so love to see it. But England still in this game, want to see what they can bring to this Australia team.
Well, some pretty fantastic records for the both sides. As we've already mentioned, these are the 2 undefeated sides at the top of the women's 27s pool. South Africa and Singapore tucked in behind them. The winner of that will finish in 3rd place. And very similar records there. There is a chance the United States to sneak in if South Africa do beat Singapore. Australia, if they win this game, will play the 4th place team in the pool, which, as we've said, is Singapore, South Africa or the United States. England will play the winner of the game over on pitch 2. Looking pretty dangerous here. Yeah. Australia again in possession.
Australia on the ball here and bringing lots of momentum, coming in, looking for a scoop, picking up, going open side. Oh, and she just runs the full, going on the backside. Can she find her player? And it looks like she does. And that's going to be another score on the board for Australia.
What a show and go through the hole from Sarah Peaty, and then picks out the winger in Rebecca Katchia. Australia 2 up. That little double pump completely deceived Eleanor Pitcher. And good movement from the Aussies to open up England again. Well, I watched this England 27 side in their victory over Switzerland on day 1. And they've been flawless ever since then. They've racked up some big scores along the way. They beat South Africa by just the point, and Scotland as well by 4-3, but then big results against Hong Kong, Spain, Switzerland as well in that game, France, and they didn't struggle against the United States either, so they'll fancy themselves going into the next round. It's a semi-final straight away in this women's 27s competition after this game.
Australia here just driving out their own 7, because England's such a strong defence we just saw from Australia, and England just still knocking on that door to try and find their drive. But
England yet to convert from 2 attempts at the 6. Australia flawless in their start to this game, and they're scooping through again. Diving touch
from Katie Fielding at number 11 for England, and we love to see that commitment. Great diving touch, as you said.
Well, Kelleher almost scooping through for Australia again. They lead by 2. England with their first transition towards the box, because as of yet, well, they've conceded from every Australian attack, and that is a disastrous error to give away against a side of this quality.
Yeah, and especially with this field position here for Australia, and touches to go. What can they build?
Duprat leaves it back to Trenary, and then they open up the field again, going in short instead.
But a lovely touch, and just stepping up off that line for England there, giving that extra step to show that they have made that touch. Really, really important.
Vanessa Duprat out in the middle for Australia. Madison Harborn, Duprat again, looking for a 3rd in 4 minutes here. Australia tight to the line, stepping off the left, Courtney Trenary.
Yeah, just a lovely sweeper play we see going around there, and just stepping back in and looking like the two English middles just weren't connected enough, so left that gap in the midfield. As we see the replay right now,
Australia are making this look a little bit too easy. Good footwork back on the inside, up went the hand, but nothing coming for England, and they've coughed up possession again from the tap. It's a really poor start for the hosts.
yeah, Australia are just looking really dominant here, and their midfield defence and midfield attack is just what's on another level at the moment. Just gaining those yards to get to that 7 and putting on pressure to that England squad.
Australia are yet to concede over 1 try in any singular game in this women's 27s competition. They've conceded just 7 in this 9th round we're into here, the best defensive record in the competition. They're also the top scorers. They've got an absolutely ridiculous points difference in this competition of plus 105. 115 tries scored, just 6 against, so 109 total try difference. They're level on 24 points with England, but a win here will see them the undisputed top side in the pool. It's complete domination from Australia at an unprecedented level, significantly more one-sided than other age categories we've seen so far, and they're making that dominance so visible to us here because they're 3-0 up against the second best side in the pool.
Yeah, I mean, England are such a strong team, especially with this women's 27 set, and looking like England are going to get penalty on the halfway here, so really nice. They're going to probably come here to the box and get some fresh legs on to get to the pitch, but Australia being really, really dominant, and just a turnover. It's going to be roll ball, maybe hips not square, the ref was showing us, but just that was touch 2 as well for England. They got to make sure they go through all their touches there.
At a bare minimum against Australia, you have to use all 6. An uncharacteristic error from this Australian women's 27 side, not capitalised upon. Well, the touch wasn't made there on Trenery, so once again, Vanessa Duprat looking threatening from close range. Duprat, options left and right, scoops in behind. Australia will have another.
Yeah, that was just a really nice play there, because the last try was just off a sweeper and step back, but this time Australia... Oh, it's a replay of the men's game we just have here that we just watched.
Well, this was England's best try against Australia in that men's game, a really excellent finish, but here we have the Women's Open try
time,
we've just seen.
They pick up instead, giving that sweeper, so looking at what the defence is doing and thinking smartly there from the Australian side.
Madison Harborne scores for Australia. Here's the best attack of the game so far for England, and they've coughed it up again, and this is pretty dire so far for England 27's women's. Of course, this is not a knockout game just yet. They will have a quarter-final to play in the next game, likely against 3 possible opposition: South Africa, Scotland and Singapore. The winner of South Africa and Singapore over on pitch 2 will face this England team if they are defeated. And, well, obviously Singapore and South Africa already defeated in the pool stage by England, so this could very well be the final in the England 27s, and if it stays like this, England have, well, not put up a fight at all, and Australia have got one hand on that gold medal.
Well, you never know what can happen in a final, which is the best way to look at it, and especially from England's point of view, but we know Australia's so strong, and...
Soft hands, they make it to the wing. Touch made by Jamie Cohn, but Australia on the transition, they're inside the 10 with fresh legs on the field, slapped out of the hand by Courtney Trenery. Duprat back on the inside, here's the wraparound from Katja. Katja, show and go, scores herself. Diving touch came in from Buttsworth, but the try's been given. Oh, well.
I think it's going to be a call from the ref there saying it's a touch. Just signalling in by putting his hand up saying it's 5th, so Australia just having to work with what they can do here.
Trenery, ball back on the inside. Here's the interception, and that's a good opportunity for England to transition. Jamie Cohn was never off the mark there, a bit flat-footed on the take, but a really good read anyway, because Australia were in if not.
Yeah, and with, just the loss of control there. Just a simple error again from England, and we've seen this rack up so far in this game. So Australia on the ball again in the England's half.
Madison Harborne. Kelleher into the path of Duprat, over the top, what a take.
I think that's going to be called a touch there by wingers number 3.
Although Australia are in again, they aren't granted the score this time. Looking for their 5th try in the early stage of this game. Picked up by Kelleher, and then straight through the centre goes Marley Phillips.
But the referee's just saying offside for the England mids players, so Australia will have a whole new set of 6 here.
Here's Phillips. Gets it on the return. Marnie Phillips looking to open up the field. There's so much space for the link.
Wow.
Hayley Murphy-Evans goes in for the score.
And that is a stunning play from Australia. Just as we see here, look how low this Australian mid is here. That's so she can get up really quick and just get that ball straight away and then chucks it long to the wing.
Brace yourself for this one, Alice, but that is Hayley Murphy-Evans' 19th try in the women's 27s competition. She's the runaway top scorer.
And no doubt about it, with those finishes. Katie Fielding on the ball here for England and picking
Well, they
up.
look to create something for once, England. It's just put back on the inside by Grant Walker and dotted. Tap down by Australia. So they'll have 6 touches at the line. Snape, they need to create something soon to get back in the game. There's plenty of space on the wrap if England can use it, but the touch is made again, this time on Fielding.
Gonna find Nikki Bird on the wing here for England, number 9, and looking really strong, and I know she's a real leader that all the girls look up to, so.
Well, Australia lead by 5, 10 minutes into this women's 27s pool game. This is the final round of pool fixtures. Over on pitch 2, the winner of this side of that game will set themselves up with a date with England. Lovely pick up again by Australia. That time the pass is forward, but every time they carry, they look so dangerous, Alice.
Yeah, they do, and it's just so threatening to the England's defence. But Nikki Bird here going in for the dump, and Lucy Snape on the ball for England as well. Katie Fielding just trying to give that pass, but it's going to be 6 more, so.
A better transition from England, but they're a long way from home. Still on their own 10 metre, yet to threaten the Australian line more than a couple of times. And this Australian defence, who, as we've said, have conceded just 7 in 9 games so far, are looking really bright. Taking it down the left-hand side again is
Nicola Marsh on the ball
Isabel
here for
Moore.
England.
Marsh gets it back on the inside, and now they might be able to open up the pitch.
Going for the shot, picking up there and looking, look.
There's Moore scooping in behind. Touch made by Natasha Adams. It's a little bit better though for England, Alice.
Yeah, it's looking a lot better for England. Just having more goes at the line here, and Australia getting called for a penalty there.
6 at the line. Into the path of Moore. Caught again by Australia, and this time it's a turnover. That's a big missed opportunity, Alice.
Yeah, and that's just called for forward pass there from the ref. And that's first touch, I believe. How important is it to use those touches? And this game is going to show it.
No, Australian transition, so clean and so fast. And that's what's got England backpedaling. Good take again by Duprat. England will get it back, but once again, the Australian transition, Alice, in comparison to England's, it just drives them all the way back, deep into their own half, and you just can't create from there.
Yeah, and like we see, they're just running on the front foot. It's like they're in stride the whole time, and it's looking a little bit better here from England, actually, getting some more metres.
But they're still a long way from the Australian line. That's a lovely pick-up by Buttsworth, looking to open up the field. Almost through that time is Megan Burton. England are getting closer, but the Australian defence holds firm again.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from England. Just a bit more explosive and just giving it to that link, but an amazing touch by that Aussie player, and still no scores on the doors yet, and like you said, they haven't conceded yet, so.
Australia yet to concede more than a single try in any one women's 27s fixture. They're 5 ahead already over England, so it's a big task ahead for the hosts. But a good carry from Burton, and England have touches to spare. Buttsworth looking really creative out there. Has spent plenty of time playing touch in Australia previously. Buttsworth wants it on the return, picks out Cone. But perhaps Jamie Cone wasn't expecting the ball at that angle. And Australia, look how quickly they look to transition. Moving up the field through Rebecca Katchia.
Yeah, just coming here, Australia on the line now and getting meters like we always see. Great running ons. England is stepping up a bit more, but they're going to be called for offsides.
You just can't give away penalties like that against Australia. Certainly the top side in this women's 27s pool stage so far. They've scored the most, they've conceded the least.
And another offside for England, and it's going to be called offside. So for people back home, if you don't know what it is, you have to get back 7 meters before you're onside to make that touch.
Roswell, show and go. Good touch from Burton. In this women's 27s category, one of the age grades, of course, so you must be 27 or older to compete. And for Australia, there's a lot of depth in their programme, and it's been shown again here by Madison Harborn going over for her second try.
Yeah, so we just watched the replay here. It's just so smooth here from Australia. Having the sweep and just hitting hole one from that link. A lovely chop there and looking quite simple. That's Madison with the score.
This Australian 27 side would certainly qualify for the Women's Open quarterfinals as well if they did compete. I think that's not a controversial take.
Yeah, this side is looking so strong and dominant in the women's 27s. It's just the amount of players that are so strong out there, and it's lovely to see them on the worldwide stage.
Almost back on the outside, Hayley Murphy-Evans looking for that 20th try in just 9 fixtures. Courtney Trenery caught for now, but England still driving on. Trenery again, inside and out, weaving a way through. Good touch from Lucy. Been stem for now.
Yeah, completely agreed there, and England's kind of looking more in their own. Just need to be more, have more depth on when running on, just to create that extra acceleration, because Australia just getting off in their face. Like here we're on halfway.
That's a nice pass, looking to open up the field, and they could be in behind here. Away goes Newton. Newton all the way, and that is a popular score live here on pitch 1. Beth Newton put in behind with a great ball over the top. For the first time in the game, England create a bit of space. Great running from Moore, dragged in Gillespie, and that allowed Newton to race away for England's first. 2 minutes before half-time. Is that the start of an unlikely comeback?
England will be delighted with that score, and just lovely wheels on the outside, and Australia couldn't do anything about it, and England
kept out the Emus.
Let's hope England can do the same like last time, trying to throw it to that far wing and get another score on the board, but might not be this easy this time. But England with the drive, just staying direct here.
They're up to the 10 metre. That ball back on the inside, an ambitious one, and you've got to play ambitiously if you want to beat a team like Australia.
Yeah, like you said, high risk, high rewards, and that is what England's got to do with this team. Australia on the ball here now, just
here
trying
come
to...
the Australian changes from the box. Looking to open up the field. There's a lovely ball out wide to Murphy-Evans again. Takes the touch. Back towards the middle they go. Adams. Natasha Adams looking for the long ball. Charged down by Cone.
Yeah, that's just going to be a new set of 6 here, but they take it quickly and just...
Adams is over, right on the buzzer. Australia have another score. The space opened up between the middle and link, and a soft drop pass back on the inside has got Australia 7-1 up at half-time here. That time it's dotted down by Natasha Adams.
Yeah, just a nice fade here we see on the replay, and it looks like she's in tons of space, number 12 for Australia. Just coming into this half, it's going to be Australia 7, England 1.
A dominant first half performance by the top side in the women's 27s pool.